What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I don't think that was as loud enough as I wanted it to be, but Robin Williams, rest in peace, man. What a great human. A tribute to him. We are going to Vietnam, guys. If you haven't figured it out by now, by the thumbnail, by the reference, we are finally leaving Hong Kong. It's been a lot of fun here. We've done multiple Kai-Tak approaches. We went over to Taipei. We've been all over China. We're going to continue the Asia Pacific tour down towards the southwest now, mostly westbound, a little bit of south, not too far south. I don't think we're going to go as far south as I originally planned, but we may end up seeing Kai-Tak one more time before the Asia Pacific tour is over. But for now, off we go, and we are taking nothing other than the lovely 727 from FlyJSim. This is the 100 variant. So you guys, if you've been around the channel, you know my favorite commercial aircraft is indeed the 727, and FlyJSim, they've done a really good rendition of this aircraft. The sounds, the more videos I watch on YouTube of 727s flying and stuff, it just sounds like FlyJSim nailed it. They really nailed a lot of the sounds. The only thing now that after flying the Q400 that they released is I can think the cockpit, specifically the ADI, is showing a little bit of age, but nonetheless it's still really fun to fly. It flies beautifully. It can get away from you if you're not careful. The 727-100 is a little bit more forgiving than, say, the 200 in my opinion, but still a fun little airplane. It's kind of like the 319 equivalent when you compare all the narrow bodies. Not quite sure why the flaps are down. Maybe maintenance was on the aircraft there. We might have to pressurize the hydraulics and try to get those flaps up. But anyway, we got our air stairs down in the back. We're ready to board it up. Joining you in the inferior Boeing 737, Sam. No worries, man. Are you? Oh, look, we got a couple guys out here. We got November 6-8, Cal, CEB. Good stuff, man. Good to see you guys along. This flight is, not gonna lie, it's probably not gonna be the most visually appealing flight that we do on this channel, but nonetheless we have to get there. We got to get over to Vietnam to continue on with our tour. So we're gonna just rock with it. Hopefully I do have a scenery in Hanoi, but hopefully the sun will be setting. We'll kind of chase the sunset in the clouds, and it won't be too ugly to look at. But I didn't want to install a bunch of ortho just for literally one flight. Now, the other thing we're going to be working with today is the civa INS. So this is going to be interesting because while I'm very familiar with how to operate the civa, I can't find like the correct coordinates for my current aircraft position. So we're going to hope that I have a close enough position now when we program this, and that it doesn't cause any issues. Last case scenario, or worst case scenario, we may have to load up the FMS because there's really not much we can even navigate from on this particular route, old school nav. So it's kind of an interesting flight path that we're taking over there. But let's go ahead and get this thing fired up here. What is up, classy traveler? Sam, good to see you. Alfie Douglas, Mr. Culture Shock, Fubar, Glass Air Mel. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Scott, Aaron Hastings, Christian, Team Vodka, all the norms, all the regulars. Love to see you guys here. We got a little bit of a setup, so we're going to get this thing fired up right away before I get too much into the chit chat. We got our battery switch on. What we're going to do now is come back over here, and I'm going to load up the ground cart. That sounds nice. Get that fired up. Wrong button over there. Come back over here. We're going to move this over to external power and connect you. Now we've got external power on board the aircraft here. We'll go ahead and get our galleys powered up so we get some nice coffee on board. And why are our flaps down? That was one thing. I want to see if I can figure this out. The flap panel's in the up position. If we pressurize electric and open the interconnect, look at that. With the interconnect, we can raise the flaps here on the ground without the engines running. That's pretty cool. See the update Phoenix feature reveals? Aaron, yes, I did. I joke about it in the Discord. Every time Phoenix releases an update, I feel like I'm going to ground school to learn about the airplane that I fly in real life. It is so detailed, and to be honest, or to be fair, really, they are designing the airplane, so a lot of what we do as pilots, we don't really get super in-depth to the length that they're getting in-depth, but I mean, they have to if they're going to engineer an airplane that acts just like the real thing. So I'm actually learning with you guys as they produce these updates, which is pretty cool. That was also really cool that we got to use the ground interconnect to open up the hydraulic system to pull the flaps up. That's cool. Anyway, that's in the normal position now. I'm not quite sure what that was all about. One other thing I want to do that is connected. Good. So we got to come down here to the old civa, put you in the standby position. I don't understand why in X-Plane all the cabins look too dark. Yeah, you know, I've noticed that too. I think it's a lighting issue, but just stand by for X-Plane 12. I think that's going to change a lot. All right, so this is what my original plan was. I made a Sky Vector flight plan. Wouldn't let me launch off of the old Kai-Tek, so I put a waypoint where I thought we were, but indeed SimBrief has the old Kai-Tek, so I might just use the SimBrief Kai-Tek coordinates for our current position. I'm hoping this will work. I think that's the proper format, so it's very important that we get this done here. Let's go ahead and go position, so north, and we'll get some lights on here in the cabin too. I know it's a little bit dark, but let's try this. 22, 19, 0, insert, followed by east of 11412.2, insert. That should be our position. So now we're going to go to align, and then we can move this to see our desired track status, and we're going to hope that that indeed will align us. Now this airplane does seem to align a lot better on look at the detail. Get the flood panel up there. Seems to align a lot better on the GPU, or faster. Or on the APU than the GPU. I'm not quite sure why that is. Let's get our logo lights on. Let's get our navigation lights on. We got our flood panel on. We got the dome light on. Really brighten it up. That might be better for you there. If it ain't Boeing, I ain't going. Hey, Boeing Corp. Well, if you enjoy Boeing aircraft, you're going to enjoy this stream here. We'll go ahead and arm the emergency exit lights. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of an overhead test here. Now, one thing that I do love about FlyJ is that it does have random failures and faults, and the light bulbs burn out. So it does give you a reason to do proper checks here. So I'm going to come down here. We're enslaved over here. Flight control warning. I'm going to skip that because it's a little bit scary looking. Check our bulbs here by clicking on them. Vertical gyro, that's all good. Fire test, check. Disarm the auto brakes, that is good. This is the wipers. Emergency exit light switch works, that is good. On this side of the overhead, we're going to come down, check that light. We're going to do a power on or overheat test, that checks. And we can pull, those bulbs are green, that's good. Alternate flap configuration, hopefully we don't need to do that. Check that bulb there, that's good. Checking all these bulbs here, they all look good. I did replace a pitot heat. My left pitot heat bulb was out on my last test flight, so I replaced it recently. That's good. Everything else looks good here. We'll turn on the no smoking and the fasten seatbelt sign on. PA lights work. We'll leave the probe heaters off for now. Head over to the flight engineer panel. Listen to the sounds of those fluorescent bulbs lighting up. That's just awesome. Let's see if we can turn up some lights here. Ooh, that's the red light. That's the table light. Turn that up. All right, we already did our ground interconnect, so now we're going to do a fuel pump test here. One forward pump from each tank. Should extinguish the light. That checks. That checks. That checks. Good. So we'll start with the forward pumps, but right now we'll leave those are all off. That's off. We do want to check our transit. We're going to have to add some fuel, but we are in tank to engine configuration. So basically, tank to engine configuration means whatever fuel tank you're burning from, it's going straight to that engine. So no crossfeed there, no crossfeed here. We're in the tank to engine configuration as indicated by the normal procedures for engine start. Coming up here, we don't have any packs, but we'll get our two engine bleeds on. We can turn those on. Cooling doors are open on the ground. Air conditioning packs are off for now. We don't even have the APU running. Not a big deal. Flight altitude, I'm going to set 35. I think that'll be about where we go. And now we can start doing some other programming. Do I consider the FlyJ Sim, the 7.2, best simulated? What do you mean best simulated? In all of X-Plane? I don't know about all of X-Plane, but it is, I'm partial to it because I really enjoyed this aircraft in real life. But the thing is, you know, see this ADI, remember the the BAE 146 we were flying? It had such a newer, more modern ADI, or I should say modern, same type of ADI, but it doesn't look very 3D. This looks a little 2D. That's just because it's showing its age a little bit. But the rest of the cockpit is really, really good. So maybe my wish list would be eventually they would just do an ADI update right here for the cockpit. But other than that, I'm really enjoying this airplane. It's a whole lot of fun to fly. Let's go ahead and fire up the APU, so we don't have to listen to that ground card. So we're going to turn that on and start. There's exhaust temps going up. Hear the APU spooling up. That way we don't have to listen to that ground cart, and then we'll program our flight plan. Greetings, V1, and everyone from Thailand. Mike Devil Dog, welcome. Welcome, sir. Alright, our APU, we want to make sure everything is good before we power the APU. And... oh, it's not quite ready yet. There we go. APU is online, so with the APU online, we can also get some air to the cabin. Let's get our packs on, just so we get some air flowing here. And we're on APU, and we are on APU. Cool. All right, so that leaves us to waypoint programming. That flatter ADI is accurate to the Dash 200. Really? I'm gonna have to look at some more cockpit photos, Steve, and maybe it is. Maybe there's a difference on the 100 and 200, so that's something I am not familiar with. But after flying that 146 the other day, I love that cockpit. I love old school cockpits, which is weird because I fly a very modern airbus, but I love the old school airplanes. It's simpler. I mean, I shouldn't say simpler, but that's not the one I want. I want the nav log. I don't want this. I don't want SimBrief. I want my nav log. Here we go. So this is what we're going to do here. So I've highlighted the waypoints that we're actually going to program. We're going to do an NDB departure again, but we're going to start out with Siku as our first waypoint. So I'm going to come back here, waypoint. We can start programming while we do that. Waypoint 1. CQ intersection. Column R, welcome. Glad to have you on board, man. Welcome to the channel, exclamation point, welcome for your more information on some perks as a new member here. Glad to have you. I'm just thinking here, guys, maybe I should make my first waypoint to NDB out here. But you know what, it's not even shown on the map. Dang it. Okay. Because I wanted to, I like having... There's the Sierra Charlie. Maybe I'll make the Sierra Charlie NDB a waypoint before CQ. Let me go to Sky Vector really quick here, guys. Because that would verify our route. If I know we're going over the Sierra Charlie NDB, I would know exactly where we are. So Sierra Charlie should be... I don't think that's the same Sierra Charlie. Stonecutter NDB Hong Kong. I'm trying to do a little... because this is very important. If we don't have the right flight plan, if we can't verify our waypoints are correct, that is Stonecutter in okay, perfect. So I'm going to go navlog. I'm going to load up a... You won't be able to see this waypoint here, but I'm going to load it. I'm going to load Stonecutter NDB here first. That way I can have something to verify on our departure here. So we're going to start north. Stonecutter is located at north. Oh, I gotta be very careful with this program here. So north 2219.2. Insert, followed by east 11407.9. Insert. Okay, so now I can close that nav log. I don't want that. I don't need that anymore. Close all of that. I know you can't even see that on screen. My apologies, but just wanted to get that. Okay, so now I'm going to close you. So now we're back to our old school. All right, so waypoint 1 is not on here. So CQ is actually going to be waypoint 2. So now we're going to go waypoint 2, north, 2050.6, insert, followed by east, 1130.0, insert, waypoint 3. I'm only doing the waypoints that I can identify. Lima Hotel, that's why I highlighted them in green, which is north 2108.1, insert, followed by east 11020.0, insert. Waypoint 4, VDO VOR, located at north 2104.4, so 2104.4, insert, followed by east 107.23.4, insert. The last waypoint, waypoint 5, is Hanoi itself, the airport I should say, which is north 2113.3, insert, east 105.48.3, insert. All right. Quasimodo, you're absolutely right, dude. We started the APU to get rid of the GPU, and I left it out there. Thank you. Thanks, dude. All right. Those are our waypoints. Remember, 1 is the Stonecutter NDB now. Desired track, we're almost there. There it is, 0.05. So now we can go nav mode. Desired track, 280. What about distance time? 3 miles. That seems about right. And we're going to double check that. That's a 236 NDB. So we're getting a little out of sequence here, but I'm going to load up 236 on this NDB. And then we got to load up our fuel. 236, transfer that over, put you ADF. Look at that. It's pointing at almost 270 magnetic, so close enough. Close enough. I'm a TWA 75 on your screen. Sorry, man. All right. We got that arm. We got everything good there. So now, last couple things we got to do before getting out of here. Yes, the bulbs do burn out, and you have to replace them. All right, sim brief said we need, so now we need to go back to our traditional flight plan, sim brief, get our fuel on board. I'm thinking we're going to take a full load out of Hong Kong here today. We're going to not quite max it out, but we'll be close. Gate fuel is 18.9. Let's call it 19,000 pounds. Actually, I like to have a little extra to go a little bit faster. Let's take 20.6 on board. As far as passenger goes, let's go full packs, load it up, and a random cargo load has us overweight 137.5. Our current weight is 2020. Wait, what? Oh, I'm sorry, gross weight 139. Oh, that's perfect. We're going to burn at least 2,000 pounds. So that is good. let's go ahead and change that CG a little bit. Let's get rid of one box. So there we go. The reason this is red is because we're overweight for max landing, but I'm anticipating burning at least 9,000 pounds of gas, which will get us down to our max landing. So we're good. We're nowhere near our max takeoff weight. That looks good. Let's verify our fuel is indeed on board over here. Is the APU on bus? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Scaring me. All right, our fuel is on board and balanced, so we're going to go one tank, one aft pump from, or one, is it aft or forward? I think it's forward. Yeah, we'll do a forward. And then the forward boost pumps for engine start. That is good. And what is our... We're going to set bugs here. We're doing a flaps 20 departure. We'll go ahead and spin the trim wheel to there. 1515 EPR of 90 or 2.15. That looks good. Current meter outside 3014. I like these airplanes because it really got a lot to set up. 3014, 3014. And now we're going to load up our departure. So, you guys probably remember this. Oops, I'm sorry, we'll go back to charts. I don't need SimBrief anymore, but we need the Kitech charts, and we need our NDB departure, active sky, winds right now. Let me just verify we can do this. 090, so a nice crosswind, but we're going to do the NDB departure. It's a little bit more fun, and it takes us to Stonecutter, so we'll be able to see what's going on. Spacing out with you. What's up, man? Welcome. $5 donation. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. How's it going? Join you from a rainy day in Seattle. Well, welcome aboard. A rainy day in Seattle. That sounds very normal. But what is up, man? Glad to have you on board. All right. First NDB Hong Kong 377. So we're going to dial that in. 377 is set. I'm going to put you in active. 236 we already tuned is Stonecutter, but I'm also going to put that on the active NDB2 so I can look at it both without having to change NDBs. In flight 236 will be active on 2. From there we're going to the Cheng Chow VOR DME station 112.3, but we're really not going to be flying there because we can't track it in X-Plane for some reason anyway. It's only a DME station, so it's kind of a waste. Essentially after Stonecutter we're headed out to Siku intersection, and I hope that it is the right spot. So we got our NDB set up, 377, 236, 236 on standby. Come over here, we'll go NDB 2 for this as well. They're almost in the same direction. You can see the bearing pointers are pointing over there. We got 10, 3014 set on the meters on both. Our top altitude, we don't have any ATC. Let's set 35. What is this telling us? Our optimum is 36.3, so 35 will be perfect. Verify the pressurization panel at 35. That is checked. Now we can finally do a checklist. Battery on, APU, ground power is on, stall warning checked, emergency lights are on, passenger signs are on, window heat is coming on. Radio radar transponder is set. We're 2000. We'll go TARA for VATSIM purposes. That is on now. Parking brake is set. We already started the APU. Beacon on. We're getting ready for engine start. So, beacon on. Galley power. We're going to kill the galley power now. No more coffee. I'm going to hit Shift F1 to close the tail cone. We should see this air stair light. There it goes. Packs off. You can hear the bleed go off. Engine bleed valves open. They are all open. Here comes our start PSI to start. Start switch to ground, wait for N2. We're going to start them up and do a power back. So, no pushbacks required in flight sim. Kitech traffic, Vietnam 357. We're going to start engines here at the gate, and we're going to be doing a power back, straight back, Kitech. All right. I actually just watched a full-blown power back procedure video last night on YouTube, because why not, right? So we're going to go ahead and start engines. 3, 2, 1. Oh, I accidentally turned on track error, I don't need that. So let's get our flight start set. And here we go, we're gonna ground number 3. That's rotating, and we got start valve open, the pressure is decreased. Waiting for our RPM N2, and here we go. There's the light off. We'll monitor this one from the inside. N2's on the rise. Fuel flow should start moving. It is already moving a little bit there. That's good. Here's our N1 is coming up. We're waiting for the low oil pressure light to extinguish. Christian, no more coffee. Hey, man, I think the wife is stopping by today. She's going to bring by a peppermint mocha, so it's going to be good. Low oil light is extinguished. That means we can go right into the second start. We're going to go ahead and start number 2. N2 rotation. Starter valve open as the Phoenix or the Fella 7.4. Starter valve open. And there's our percent N2 fuel. Departing from 3.1 in a C-130 Herc was eye-opening. Dougal. Awesome, man. I wish we had a good C-130 for X-Plane. Wouldn't that be nice? Like a PMDG C-130 for X-Plane. That would be a lot of fun. I'm sure it was a good flight leaving, too, huh? All right, last one. Here we go. Grounding number 1. N2's on the rise. Starter valve open. Pressure's dropped. There's our percent N2. Fuel. Love it, love it. Captain Geo, what is up, man? 23 months strong. Dude, one more month for the 24-month membership. Wow, Geo. That is crazy. Hope you get that 3080. Hey, Christmas is right around the corner, Geo. Christmas is right around the corner, my friend. What's up, man? Hope you're well, dude. Hope you're well. All right, we got 3 good starts. We're going to come over here now. Let's go get the buses closed. So 1, 2, and 3. Verify gens are good. We don't have to do any manual synchronization. That's good. We'll get our galley power back online. Let's get some air back in here. Cooling doors are full open on the ground. And we can go ahead and kill the APU now.
Contact traffic, this is Cal 197, ready to taxi to runway 13 on taxi.
Get the rest of our fuel pumps open. Fuel heat. We're going to test the valve. Hydraulics. Pressurized. Tail skid is normal. We're not going to extend flaps here for the power back. So let's run our quick checklist here. To start for takeoff checklist. So we're going to do all this before. So cockpit to ground, ground to cockpit, ready for power back. Negative, we got vehicles behind you. Okay, we are ready for power back. There's a lot of airplanes here. We got 4 or 5 airplanes on there. It's awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4. Little mini conga line. All right. Pete S., welcome to Private Pilot, sir. Glad to have you on board. Exclamation point, welcome for your new perks in chat. We're going to do a power back from the outside view. It's going to be extremely loud. I'm really not going to change the volume from right here. So if you're a headphone user, use caution. But this is a monumental, actually, you know what? I'm going to do it from the view that I really watched it happen when I was a kid. I wasn't in Kai Tech, but I was about this view here when I saw a 7.2 do a power back. So here we go. Watch your ears. We're going to pop the buckets. I don't know why the spoilers deploy. I don't think they should. And here we go.
contact traffic to 611. Get up first one cost of the engine start at 8 altitude after pushback and we'll advise them ready for taxi. Contact.
A little bit more juice. I think we're pretty heavy. We'll give ourselves a little bit of an angle. Oh, don't hit the brakes. Did you see that? Nose wheel came off the ground. Oh my gosh. Never hit the brakes during the power back. Always add forward thrust. Oh my gosh. That's like the number one no-no, that you never touch the brakes when you're moving backwards, and I accidentally touched the brake. You're supposed to just come out of reverse, a little bit of forward thrust will get you out. All right, we're doing a flaps 20, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Get used back stowed. I don't know why they're still popped. We're in forward. Oh, that's why we're still. Hold on, we got a binding issue. There we go. A little bit of a binding issue. Got it sorted. We're out of reverse. No pushback required, man. All right, flaps 20 is set. Pitot heat is on. Flight instrument set for departure, flight control check, speed brake down, stab trim set, flap set, galley power is on. Electrical. No lights. Fuel heat is off, hydraulics pressure and quantity checked. APU off, pressure set for cruise altitude 35 set. Flight ground switches, flight number 2 bleeds are closed. EPR and airspeed bug set. All right. Are you guys ready? Kitech traffic, Vietnam 357. We're going to be taxiing runway 13 via Delta 1, Kitech. Taxi light on. Make sure there's nobody in the way. Do a cinematic drive-by. Brakes released. Hazy night here in Vietnam, in Hong Kong. Oh, I got my tiller bound, so I got to use my tiller axis now. There we go. Oh, Christian. The sounds are so awesome. All right, let's figure out where we're going. He is on a taxiway there. That's okay. So we're going to sneak by him. Mr. Martini, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Only 68 likes and 129 watching? Oh, you got to hit the like button for the 727. Show some love to the 727. And how about just the sounds alone? Watch this. Drive-by, flyby view. They sound amazing. I gotta see if I can turn onto the taxiway without going on the runway here. Go watch a YouTube video of 727s taxiing around. It sounds just like the Fly J. Cut the corner there, that's okay. Pretty sure these taxi lights are sunk in the ground. You could taxi across this pad. Robert S., you're feeling sick today? Man, hope you feel better. A little bit of 727 love might make you feeling better. Might make you feeling better. Wow, learn the English. Might make you feel better.
611, taxi runway 13 V and then 1. Contact.
Love me a classic Boeing. Me too, man. Me too, Captain. I don't know why it keeps thinking my active or my track IR is active. It's not. So there is a mod which I just realized, and I'm going to load up in the 200 next time we fly it. There is a cabin mod for the 727-200 that brings a cabin to the airplane. I haven't checked it out personally yet, but I saw it on the org forums there, so I'll be sure to load that up the next time we're in the Dash 200. Captain says, you haven't flown this one in a while, been too busy with the 7.4. It's hard not to fly a 7.4. If, you know, realistically, I could have flown the 7.4-200 probably for 5-6 streams in a row. But I know you guys want to see a variety of aircraft. Now, I'm holding off on Airbus right now because Monday I should have my setup. But today, one of my parts got delivered. I had to order something from Thrustmaster, or actually I ordered something from Amazon, and they just sent me the wrong. They actually sent me the Thrustmaster TCA add-on pack, like the spoilers and the flaps. That was not what I ordered. I ordered a different part, a different piece of equipment from Thrustmaster, and Amazon just loaded up something completely not what I ordered. So I had to reorder. Hopefully they put the right part in there this time, and I should have it on Tuesday, which sucks now because my stick should arrive Monday. But now I'm still working on the base part, and hopefully it'll get here. Hopefully it'll be the right thing. If not, I'm really going to be disappointed because I got to have to scramble, try to find what I'm looking for. My pilot store used to have them, but they're sold out now. So, but once I get that, we'll be back in the Airbus because I got to be honest, I just can't. I'm having a hard time enjoying the Airbus, whether it's the 340 or any narrow body, with the side stick. I'm having some axis issues already, like some jittering in the axis, and I've tried a different driver and stuff. It just, I don't know. So I'm not super pleased with the TCA Airbus purchase. I don't know if I just got a lemon or not, but anyway, fixes are on the way. Have I used the Concorde? Yes, I have multiple times. We did a Concorde stream from London to JFK. We also did the Concorde from Honolulu to Tokyo. Yeah, it's fun. That's one heck of an airplane to work on single pilot. Even if it's just for the flight deck to sim impressions. You know, it's funny. Someone posted in the Discord a flight deck to sim doing an American V1 impression. I gotta say, it's pretty darn good. Like it's so accents are so interesting to me because you hear people talk. Like I don't think I have an accent, right? But then other people that like you're British or flight deck to sim in this instance, you know, I have an accent to him. So then when he speaks, mimicking me, it sounds really good. I'm like, oh, that's how you should talk. And then it's just funny though. Yeah, there's some good impressions. I don't think I'll try to remember to do a flight deck to sim impression on this one. All right, we're going to go ahead and stop here. A little bit cockeyed. Taxi light off, brake set. Make sure there's no traffic departing 13. I don't believe so. Kai-Tak traffic, Hong Kong, or excuse me, Vietnam 357. We're going to be departing runway 13 out to the southwest, Kai-Tak. Alright, let's light it up. And checklist, clear for takeoff, start switches, guarded, transponder landing lights, auto pack switch, norm cutout, F takeoff checklist. Alright, let's line it up and wait, folks. Oh, this is a shot with all the buildings in the background. He was impressed with my check clothes, hold the attitude. Yeah, I was gotta say, I was very impressed by his American accent. I was like, that sounded straight up Like he didn't even have an accent anymore. That's really good. See, my nose wheel tiller axis is not really that good. I think we're way short on that lineup. We'll roll forward here just a little bit. We should have plenty of performance at flaps 20. All right, you guys ready? It's going to be very loud on departure, so if you're a headphone user, use caution. Here we go. We can see that it's working. We got our NDB1. Basically, fly to Hong Kong NDB, left turn to Stonecutter, and then 211 on the heading. I'm just going to set that now. Actually, let me do it this way. I'm going to set 211 on the heading now, and we'll go around the flight director mode, actually, which is 18. So let me go. What's 18? Right about there. There we go. All right, you guys ready? 2.11 on the EPIR. Spool them up. 50. Very important you stabilize on this airplane. Yoga. I'm gonna have to adjust my vibration on my XP Realistic. Flyby. That's awesome.
E1, rotate. Contact traffic 611, line out from the 31, contact.
Positive rate. Gear up. Flyby. Oh yeah, baby. Love it. All right, we're tracking straight out till we fly over the NDB. Here we're going to wait for it to flip. Basically going over the checkerboard, maintaining our maximum climb. There we go, over the NDB. Left turn now.
Contact traffic 611, rolling down runway 31 and 602, Charlie departure, contact.
To our second NDB, which is about a 260 heading. And we can start to lower that nose. 92% for the climb out. Now let's see, theoretically, if we go GPS nav, we should, yeah, look at that. Almost on top of it, lower that nose, accelerate. 92, let's go gear off. Just about to pass over the top of it, fly by. Oh yeah, see ya Hong Kong. All right, looks like we passed the NEB. Let's go flaps 15. Oh yeah, our INS is working too, that's perfect. So we hit the Stonecutter NDB on our INS the same time that we hit it with a ADF needle. So that tells me our INS position is close enough for our start. Flaps 5. Let nose down a little bit. Not really flying the flight director so much here as far as pitch goes. I'm not quite sure how they did it in real life. If they just said, I don't need no stinking flight director, and flew pitch and power. Flaps up by 200. We'll accelerate to 250, then we'll do an IAS hold. Another flyby. Oh, into the sunset we shall go. Absolutely beautiful. I don't know what that view is all about. See ya, Kai Tech. All right.
Kai Tech traffic, Boeing Eater, Foxtrot, taking 31.
Kai Tech traffic, Vietnam 357, we're 5,000 feet out to the west of Hong Kong, climbing up to 350, last call, Kai Tech. Approaching 250. It's been a lot of fun, Hong Kong. It's been a lot of fun. I love the way this airplane hand flies. All right, I say that, I'm going to engage the autopilot. IS hold, outcell, aux nav. And we're going to go nav. Bring that up to 250 for IIS hold. And we're doing it. VOR low, out select, GPS tracking. We no longer need this. Let's go back to our Vietnam flight plan. That's all we need there. And let's do a checklist here. After takeoff, seatbelts are on for now. Anti-ice is still closed. Gear up and off. Flaps up, no lights. Auto pack trip to cutout. Hydraulic pressure quantity and normal pressurization. Oh, you know what? I did forget something on pressurization, I think. We did forget something on pressurization. We need to go to flight mode. Well, we still got Delta P.
Contact traffic, this is
So we're still pressurizing.
Climbing to 7,000 feet.
That's good.
Contact.
Cabin temps are in auto. Ooh, they're a little bit chilly though. Pull them up a little bit. Okay, that's excessive. Bring it down a little bit. Main supply, let's see, what's the forward cabin is sitting at 22C. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, we're at 10,000 feet. We're going to kill the lights. And now we're going to start scrolling this up. I'm going to do about 10 knots at a time there. Get those off, get those off. Can't really click them all. Strobe, nav, beacon, and wing and logo can come off. So that's all we need on. We're at a 12.7. Bye-bye. And just like that, there's the new Hong Kong. That's where we flew our Avro flight. I keep saying Avro. All right, I got way behind on the chat messages there, but those guys, this airplane single pilot on stream is a handful. Flight Deck the Sim thinks all Americans are Yosemite Sam. Nothing like the sound of the JT8Ds. Oh yeah, I had to scroll back. My live chat feed got stopped at takeoff, so I had to scroll all the way back down. Vodka, he said he's got to leave about 30 minutes into the stream, so he's probably already pieced out. Look at the boats coming out of there. We're going about 270 on the climb out. Let's check our pressures and temps. So N1, we're looking about 92% N2, which is good. I think that's what we want, right? Oh, N1, 92%. So we can give it a little bit more juice here on number one. There we go, 1.9 on the EPR. 270. Let's do 300 on the climb out. Let's get there. All right, so Siku is our next waypoint, which we could see. And then, actually, yeah, 1 to 2. After Siku, the next thing that we're actually going to be able to tune is the Lima Hotel NDB, which is 356. So we're way early on this, but I'm going to tune up 356 here on ADF1. 356 is set. We'll kill ADF2, so now we have something to at least look forward to. If I look at the map, our general route of flight looks like we're going the right direction. We're going to the CQ intersection. These guys seem to be on that departure, which is a little bit more south and then to the right. 18.2, we'll set standard. We're at, not in the US, I forget, there's like 9,000 feet here or something, so we're behind on that. There it is. We're doing it. Out of step, I recently had an interview for a flight follower job at a broker company for planes. I did great in the interview, just waiting to hear now. Awesome, Out of step. Best of luck to you, sir. The 7.2 and Concorde are similar in terms of systems. Not really. There's Macau down there. We flew there in the 146. I wouldn't say they're very similar. Jay Lee, what's up, man? Welcome. Fly by. Love it. Perfect. Wife just texted me, said that she's on her way with peppermint mochas. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and set our exterior volume way down so we don't blast our ears. We are on our way, ladies and gentlemen. Dinner time, back for approach. Dougal, take care, buddy. We'll see you on the approach. I think the last time I looked, Active Sky was actually calling for some fog down there. Here we go. Expected weather conditions. VVNB 080 at 2 knots. At least we're back into knots. And 3900 mist. NSC, no significant changes. Temperature 171021. So there is some mist in the area. Expecting landing based on winds on 1-1s, but we might change that. We'll see what happens when we get a little bit closer. When will the CFM for the Tolas be released? As soon as it gets finished by Carta. So, you know, he's not getting paid to release them. This is just something he does in the free time for the community. So remember to be patient. One thing I do want to say, guys, I love the Cardamons just as much as anybody, if not more. And they work, okay? So the manuals are correct. So if you do something wrong, before going to complain in the Discord or ask Carta for help, just start over. I highly, highly suggest that you just make a copy of your default airplane before you install the mod, because that's that way if you messed it up, you just delete that and you start make another copy and start over. It's not hard to do, but the manual is 100% correct. So if it doesn't look right, it's something that you did incorrectly. So just be cautious of that. But yes, it'll definitely be published in the Discord. I'll probably make a stream about it when it releases them. But they are looking absolutely fantastic. That was the Dash A model. How is the civa for this thing compared to the one in the 7.4? You know, Captain, I haven't gone too much in depth for other functions like DME updating. I know the 74200 in the Felis, that has DME updating and a couple other features. I haven't really tried much more with this particular INS. Now, this is in order to have the INS in the 7.2, you have to have the XCiva plugin, which I think is a couple bucks on the org store. It's a separate plugin. But it'll work in the 737-200, the 727-200, and you can, of course, use it in the Concorde until that one is fully functional. But as far as functionality, I think they're about the same, and I think the Felis one is actually a little bit more accurate in terms of DME updating capabilities and INS drift and things like that. Takes you back to being a kid on Iberia's 727s for Spanish holidays. Nice, man. Nice. This is kind of a cool shot here going into the sunset. All right, we're 26.3, 26.4. I got to step outside real quick. Go pick up my peppermint mocha. So let's go ahead and turn the seatbelt sign off. And smoke them if you got them. Hopefully we don't stall. I'll be right back in like 3 minutes max. I gotta get my peppermint mocha. All right, we are back. Got our drinks from the galley. Shout out to the wife on that one. I'll turn down some of this interior volume a little bit here. Clear you, clear you. All right, we're 28.6. About 7.6 in the climb out. N2 is good. Let's check our fuel. Fuel is balanced, so we can keep it in tank to engine configuration. Temps are good. Everything is looking good. We're pressurizing. Flyby. Stunning. I was hoping we'd have a little bit more clouds to look at. Flight Factor making a new 777 right now. Yes, I am aware. Oh, it's not the one I wanted. You guys are aware of my feelings on the 777, not just the 777 in general. I've never got the juice flowing with the 777 for me personally. I like the 75. I love the 72. Even the 7.3, just the triple just never did anything for me. Chasing the sun? Yes, sir. Well, I get in the 310. You know, I almost did a 310 on this flight. And had I have known what was happening tomorrow, which I'll tell you guys a little bit later, there's going to be some stuff happening tomorrow. So you're going to want to tune in tomorrow. Not exactly sure what time. I'm thinking approximately 3 p.m. Eastern. There's something big going down, and I'm going to stream it. I'm going to be streaming. Highly, highly, highly encourage that you fly along if you want to take part in whatever what I'm letting you know. And there'll be some more information coming soon. But tomorrow there will be a stream. It's going to be pretty sweet. I'm thinking of making it a routine on Fridays as well. So. I forget where I was going. Oh, yeah, but the 310, yes. I would love to fly the 310 more. Maybe, you know what, Phil? How about this? How about we fly the 310 on the next flight? I think we're going to go from Hanoi to Bangkok. So we're going to I think we could take a 310. Why don't we do that? Because you're absolutely right. I missed the 310. I love the 310. It's one of the best releases on X-Plane, and I don't know why, if it maybe was overshadowed by the 8300. Everyone already had the 8300, or people holding out for the Q400, but the 310 is a phenomenal third-party add-on. Phenomenal. Fubar, that would have been something, huh? How's the mocha? Sounds like heaven. Yes, sir. Peppermint bourbon. Oh, yeah. How does the engine anti-ice work in this plane? I'm not sure how to activate it. Also, the wing anti-ice. Well, I got to come in here and make sure we're not stalling. We're going to back it off about 7.8 there in the climb out. So to get engine anti-ice, it's over here. Here's your anti-ice panel. Basically, this is all ice. So you get your probe heaters on, and your window heat should already be on. Now you have wing and wing and engine heat, essentially. So this is your wing. I don't want to do a test right now, but let's see if we go to left. So now we're rocking the engine anti-ice and then the wing anti-ice right here. Now I believe as far as what is heated, I think everything on the leading edge except the single Kruger flap. Is that what that is? There's a Kruger flap on the leading edge that is not heated, as well as something else on the tail. I can't recall, but you're also going to lose some efficiency from your engines as well, like as you should. You're going to lose a little bit of bleed, so you want to make sure that you are using it appropriately and not just letting it run for no reason. I have to look up. I'm diving into kind of a 727 binge watching procedures and stuff on it. So I've actually just finished watching some videos on the air conditioning panel back here. and of course the bleed panel, but I'm going to be diving into the anti-ice systems next. I was watching some guy on YouTube, and then that led me to another video. It basically has all the CBTs for the 727, which I never knew were on YouTube. So I'm going down the CBT path of the 727, trying to learn things, do things a little bit more according to how it was supposed to be done back in the day. Turn up some panel lighting there. But as far as your basic anti-ice, that's what you gotta do. It's that knob up there. 6 Eastern is what? 6 Eastern? Did I say 6 Eastern? I said 3 Eastern. 3 Eastern. Approximately. V1 gets the first 777 V2 from Flight Factor as a redeem. No. I'm not sure if... I'm pretty sure that organization will never give me a single thing. After the initial 320 release. What's my favorite airplane, X-plane aircraft? Ooh. Of 2021? Oh, of 2021? That Q400, man, is really good. The Q400 is so much fun. Between that and the 140, well, 146, was that this year? I think that was this year, too. I'm really enjoying the 146. Really, really enjoying the 146. I watched about 3 hours of tutorials on it. After I did that one flight we did with you guys on stream, I went down the rabbit hole of trying to learn more. I learned some great information about the engine anti-ice does, in fact, have to be on for engine start. It has to do with the torque and the blowout disc. It's really cool. And to see that it's mostly modeled there from Just Flight, combine that with the phenomenal handling characteristics, the flight dynamics on that 146, I'm having a lot of fun with it. Two inboard Kruger flaps are not heated near the fuselage. That sounds about right. Where can I get this livery? You know what? I had to search quite a bit for it. Let me see if I can get a link for you. There was really not much as far as Vietnam Airlines on the forums. Let me see. Vietnam 727. See if I get the link for it. I think this is the one here. So this aircraft was actually hijacked and crashed, which is a fun fact. Here's a link to the livery if you would like it. That's YouTube being YouTube. Before you know it, you're watching a video of a goat trying to fly a 7.2. Yes, sir. All right, here we go. 500 feet to level off. Give it a little bit more juice. Come on, baby. You can make it. And we're going to walk that EPR back a little bit. Fuel flow, look at this. 2,800, almost 3,000, 369, almost 9,000 pounds per hour of gas. That's unbelievable. I mean, to put it in perspective, I could take a fully loaded, let's say a 320 Neo, and if you do a 320 in an all-econ configuration, you can get probably 190, almost 200 people. I don't know what it is in all econ. Maybe like 187 passengers, and burn 5,000 pounds, even less than that. Probably burn about 4,700 pounds at cruise, doing 7-8 Mach. We're also climbing too, but I mean, that's about half that. You could burn half the gas and carry more people in a modern day Neo than these old birds. I'm all right. We just leveled. There's our alt mode is in green. It's very important you don't walk away from your sim at this point, because if you were to walk away right here, my power is set for climb. We just leveled at 35. The airspeed is going to build up and just run away from you. Now, I don't have any power setting charts, which I would love to have. If anybody knows of some documents for power settings for the FlyJ, like, okay, this at 35,000 feet, approximately this way, it'll give you, set this EPR, will give you this Mach. I don't have any of those, which I would like. We're gonna try to cruise over there at like 8.8. So we're gonna just let it sit here at 2.0 EPR. We're still in the green. Everything's in the green. How's our N2? We're getting a little bit hot on those. Let's go ahead and walk them back ever so slightly. Percent N2 come down just a little bit there. Keep it out of the yellow. So the last thing I want to do is have an engine failure. You could see I've been very nice to this airplane. The 100 model, I don't fly too much. I should fly more. Got 6 hours on this particular airframe, 7 hours. Like, look at that, all #1 parts. Haven't destroyed this one. I think my 200, I have a 200 that has about 14 different engines and maybe 3 airframes because I balled it up going off the runway at Telluride, not on stream, just in practice. But this one I've been very nice to. Very nice to. Keep the APU usage down. All right, so we're still accelerating here. I'm going to just chill back out here for a minute until we're a little bit faster. There are Pan Am docs on the X-Plane forum. I'll take a look at it. Gotten so used to slats, I forgot about Kruger flaps. There you go. That's another big, I don't know, a huge thing for me on this airplane is the profile when it is completely dirtied up. Like when you're coming in on approach, your flaps 30, gear down. The way this airplane looks is just wicked. I mean, these huge leading edge devices are driven out by those jack screws. And I guess not really a jack screw, but just huge leading edge devices, big trailing edge devices, and you got the triple smokestack coming off the back when it's at high power. We did a stream, what was it, on the Euro Tour when we flew into, what was that, was it an island where you did a circling approach? It was a lot of fun. We took the 7.2 in there. What was the name of that island? Anyway, in the replay, you could see the airplane coming around fully configured with the smoke out the back. I don't think you can beat it. I really don't think you can beat the view of a fully dirtied up 727. Okay, we're making a turn. Where are we going? We're going to waypoint 3, which, remember, we had CH was 1, 2 is CQ, so number 3 is Lima Hotel at 356, NDB, which we're still going to be way too far to ID it. But here's Lima Hotel over here, and it looks like we're making the turn to it. Looks like we're making the turn to it. Cool. Looks like y'all cut the corner. And we're almost to our speed that I want to be at. But anyway, yeah, what I was saying is I don't think you can beat the view of the 7.2 in a dirty configuration. It's just such a beautiful airplane. V1, you could do classic week beginning in early days until Robert S. Stick around. I hope you're around tomorrow, buddy. Hope you're around tomorrow. More props, jets. I like more props or jets. I do want to do some more props. I know it's not a very popular thing to fly on stream, props and GA stuff, but Calvi, thank you, Robert. But I do want to do some more props. But tomorrow, I'm excited for kicking off something new. I didn't have anything to do with it. I'm literally just streaming it, streaming and flying it, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. Flyby. Ooh yeah, we're getting some good sky colors now. Which FlyJ did I have the engine fire in? That was the 73200. That was really fun. That's good. If you guys haven't seen that, you should look that one up. Maybe I should. That's one I should clip. Yeah, we were taking off out of Seattle, and I was looking at the juicy ortho. I just got some nice Fork Boy ortho loaded in there, and a nice Seattle airport, and I was sitting on the wing view on departure, on pilot edge nonetheless, which pilot edge with the controller that hates me, I think it was all three. And we took off, and I was looking out the wing view, went back to the cockpit view, fire bells going off, engines on fire. That was a lot of fun. Let them cut the corner, we're flying faster. Yes, sir. Back to freight pistons. That's not tomorrow, but yes, I agree. I need to do more of that. DC3, DC3 stream. John, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Subscriber ahead. Look up.
Thank you for the new subscribe. Appreciate it. Picking up a lot of new subscribers to the channel on this tour. I know it brings in different viewership. Start flying in areas I've never flown in before. People search it on YouTube and eventually end up on my channel. So if you like this content, I appreciate you subscribing. We are on the Asia Pacific tour. All right, so now we're approaching our speed. So this is where you got to be careful if you were going to go AFK. Say you wanted to go make dinner or something. So right now I'm doing about 8.8, which is what I want to do. But if I leave my power here, we're just going to go past it. And we're going to start overspeeding. So now I'm going to walk these EPers back just a little bit. Let's try, I don't want to slow down. Let's start with 1.85 on the EPer. How's that? 187. See what that does. See what that does. In my notes for this aircraft, I have a table of cruise settings from summer. Captain Faulty, that's what I need, is something that I can just put here and have a cruise setting. Now, I think, oops, wrong view. Maybe they're on the table here, but you can't read them. I can't read them here. This is flap retraction. This is where they would be. The Felis 74200 has the same thing, though, with this table, and you can actually read the numbers. I don't think this is something you could read even if you turn your graphics way up. I think it's just what they have there. Yeah, here I could see max continuous something RPM, but I can't read any of the digits. Max climb. So this is where it is. Takeoff speeds. I could read that, but all right. So that brought us back just a little bit. Let me bump it up. Maybe 1.9. 1.9 should be the juice right there. I love manipulating the Bravo throttles when you have more than two engines. It's so nice. Oh, this is the Blue Experience song. Which, hey, fitting. I'll let it play. I'll let this song play because it's fitting. The Blue Experience is tonight. If you guys haven't listen to that. I think they are, who are they doing tonight? I think it's a real world airline person. They don't know, I don't think they said who it is yet. Not a pilot, not a flight attendant, but someone else, different perspective in the airline industry. They're going to be doing the Blue Experience tonight on that. I spoke on the Blue Experience on the first podcast. A lot of fun. I was invited by XP and Blue. They've done a couple of really good ones. They've talked to Phoenix. They've talked to the E-Jet guy, gosh, I can't remember his name, forgive me. And then I've talked to several. Captain Canada was on there. Been quite a few really good ones. So check it out, Blue Experience tonight. Blue Games or XP72, they simul stream it. 1.94. The guy hates life, not me. That's kind of a cool shot right there. Have you ever flown a 7.2 very quiet up front? Yes. It is very quiet. It's a lot like an MD-80. If you've ever been on an 80, up front it's virtually, I'd say the 80 is even quieter because you only had two engines. But yeah, up front is very quiet. It's just mostly wind noise and that's about it. Now I'd imagine the 100 is a little bit louder because it's shorter. You're closer to the engines. Very similar to the 319. A lot of people think that the 319, like you could see the engines on the Airbus from the cockpit. You can't even, I think you could barely see the engines on a 319 from the cockpit. 320, it doesn't matter how hard you turn your neck, you can't see them. 321, you can barely 321, you can barely see the wings. You just see the wingtips, just the sharklets out there. Usually fly the 7.2F between 7.8 to 8.0. Yeah, that's probably the standard speed, but I know this sucker can go up to like 8.6. They don't build them like this anymore. Yeah, what I need is a max continuous EPR. But a max continuous EPR right now is probably too much with the overspeeding. Al W, what's up, man? Welcome. Late start as usual. Spring is coming again. Al, what's going on, man? Nice day in Texas today, huh? Like 75 degrees outside. A little bit windy, but it sure beats that 30 degrees nonsense. Yeah, it's a nice day outside here in Texas. Tomorrow's going to be even warmer. Looks like we're over the NDB. Look at that shot. So, I mean, the profile, the 7.2 is just a beautiful airplane. Okay, so that should have been Lima Hotel. Look, and our NDB needle is spinning. So it means we just flew over the NDB, and indeed we did. Look, we're smoking all these guys here. Well, we're not going to be able to smoke that 7.4, but look at that. Our civa is working perfectly. NDB's behind us. So now let's tune up the last thing that we will eventually get to, which is 15.4. Come down here. We're going to load that up. 15.4. We'll put you active. We'll also put you in the standby just for reference. Looks like we're getting some DME, 160 miles. Cool. What's flight level and FL and G? Flight level and gross weight. We are at 35. Oh, you want mine? We're at 35,000 feet, and our gross weight is 129. Let's call it 130,000 pounds. 130,000 pounds at 35,000 feet. Reset that. We could actually give it a little bit more juice probably, but I don't want to cook them too much. How's our fuel? Let's do a fuel check. We're looking good. 12,000 pounds on board. We're burning 2,500 pounds, so it's 7,500 pounds an hour. We got a little over an hour and a half worth of fuel on board. We're looking good. We are looking good. Nope. Does 7.2 have a noisy cockpit? Probably wind noise, I would imagine, especially at high speeds. The 7.3 is loud. The 7.3 cockpit, I think it's the wiper. Here's the thing, all planes with wipers are loud, but the 7.3 is noticeably louder than the Airbus. I've had 7.3 drivers on the Airbus jump seat be like, wow, this is really quiet. And you get them in a Neo, it's even more crazy. But it just has to do with the windshield design and the wipers. Yeah, 1.9 is not enough for 8.8. Long range cruise for 35 at 100 is 1.82 at 7.9 Mach. Okay, thank you, Captain. So 1.82 for 7.9 Mach at long range cruise. So we're bumping that up. So that sounds about right. We're doing 1.9, so 0.8 more, and we're doing 8.5 on the Mach. I like that. That seems about right. Yeah, if I wanted to long-range cruise it, we'd pull it back to 1.82. I don't want to slow down necessarily. What I do need to find out is where is VDO in reference to the airport. VDO is 90 miles from the airport. So that'll come into play for descent planning. I don't know where we should sit. This is like beautiful sunset out there. Ooh, that's cool. Let me turn the weather radar on. Although there's nothing to see. Oh, the system is down there. Oh well. Dreamless, can I explain why air distance is smaller than ground distance when facing a headwind? All right, Dreamless. So, unlike a car, the airplane is, I guess it would be four-dimensional. It's airborne, right? There is nothing. It's not like a car wheel where you add gas and the car moves because the wheels are connected to the ground and they're always going to move the same distance. Because when the tire makes a full 360, it's going to cover a certain amount of distance no matter what outside factors, whether it's windy or not. It's a simple fact of that when the tire turns, the car is going to move. Now, in the air, we have to deal with wind. So in a zero wind environment, it's very much like a car. Add power, airplane's going to accelerate, and it's going to have a ratio of speed to thrust with zero wind. But as you add wind, now you have outside forces acting on the airplane, and in the case of a headwind, you have them acting against the airplane. So at a zero wind example, if I'm flying at 100 knots, I'm covering 100 nautical miles in 1 hour. But if I were to add a headwind, my speed of which I'm covering ground distance is going to be less because the airplane is not going to be covering the same amount of distance over the ground as it would be in a zero wind environment. So even though you might be doing 100 knots, if I add a 10 knot headwind, my speed over the ground is only going to be 90 knots. So in this very crude example, in 1 hour's time, you're not going to be at 100 nautical miles. You're going to be 90 nautical miles. You're going to be 10 nautical miles short. Now, the opposite is true is if it were a tailwind. If I'm doing 100 knots and I have a 10 knot tailwind, I'm now doing 110 knots over the ground distance. So that's why ground speed is a very important calculation in flying. Because we have our airspeed. The airplane's always is going to be moving through the air at a different speed, but it's going to be covering a different amount of distance over the ground depending on the wind. That is why we have ground speed. So we have different speeds that we have to take into account. So in that example, if I have a tailwind now of 10 knots, I'm doing 110 knots over the ground, but I'm doing 100 knots on my airspeed, I'm actually going to reach 100 miles faster than I would if I was just doing 90 knots, if that makes sense. So I wish I had I could show you I had a face cam and I could show you a diagram, but it has to do with the speed over the ground is different. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. The speed over the ground is different than the speed of which you're flying through the air. That's the main difference. Very crude example, but there you go. Clear as mud? Is X-Plane your favorite simulator? Yes. Yes, Boeing. Microsoft Flight Sim is absolutely stunning. I watched XP's stream last night. XP72 had a stream into Copenhagen. And I'm telling you, it was the most beautiful thing I've seen on a PC. The visuals in Microsoft are unbelievable. But for me, I get the most enjoyment out of flying airplanes like the Fly-J, airplanes like the Q400, the A310. And not to say that that's never going to happen in Microsoft, but as of right now, they're just not there. So that's why, as of right now, X-Plane is still my favorite, because that's where I personally get enjoyment from. Again, not right, wrong, or indifferent. Everybody has their own opinion. If you really like flying, if you just want to look outside, then yeah, Microsoft's going to be where to be. But I do enjoy the GA stuff on Microsoft, and I got to get back in the fly-by-wire mod. It's had a lot of updates since the last time I flew it. But I mean, my favorite real-world airplane's a 727. We've got the Q400 out. I love flying these airplanes. I fly the Airbus all the time in real life. I like to fly something a little bit different when I get here in the sim. And no lie, it actually keeps I firmly believe that when I fly airplanes like this, the 727, or even just a round gauge airplane, it really does keep my skills sharper when I go back to the Airbus, because the Airbus, there is a lot of automation, and not just the Airbus, but the modern day FMS systems and all the stuff that's calculated in computer for us, it makes you dumber as a pilot, because you're just like, oh, it tells me what I need. It tells me my fuel. It tells me this, tells me that, tells me when to descend. These old airplanes don't do that. So when I force myself to do that on stream with you guys, it makes me feel a little bit better when I'm back in the real airplane. I'm doing my own mental math, and then I check what the computer says, and hopefully it matches up. How does one calculate equivalent airspeed? Sam, there you go. Sam, how do you calculate equivalent airspeed? Face cam, we need that. I think there was a TWA crew years ago that was accused of cruising at its 7.2 flaps once so they could doubly overspeed the aircraft if flight was involved in an upset. That is correct, Chris Rund. That is correct. Okay, so we are 83 miles from the VOR, plus 90 miles. That makes 170 miles out. We got to descend down to 10,000 feet, 30 miles out. So 25,000 feet we need to lose, 30 miles, 75 miles out. So we're plenty good. What is this song? How about No? This one's called Orient. Might be perfect for the theme. I mean, yeah, the Microsoft visuals are good, but man, look, I mean, these clouds and this sunset right now is pretty darn juice. Sam, I'm thinking what I want to do is I want to eventually get the podcast set up at my house so I can do, if it's not a live podcast, I can do almost just like sit at it at my desk and record and show you guys actual stuff, so it would be a face cam, but it'd be a legit podcast that you could watch if you want to watch it too. But I want to be able, once I can do the podcast from home, I'll be able to start cranking them out. It's just, like I said before, when I'm at the office, I feel like I got to make the best of my time right now and get the content out there, especially with Christmas around the corner. Gonna get busy, so I want to get some streams in while I can this week. Not quite sure what next week's schedule is going to entail. Maybe pretty light on the content. Anyone have P3DV5? I do not. I got rid of P3D, man. P3D is a heck of a system simulator. It really is. And you can make it look good, but be prepared to spend some money. You certainly need 3080. That's what I want, Christian. I want to get X Enviro rocking with the 3080. Can't run it on my stream, but I love the X Enviro. I love what it does, but I just can't do it on my setup right now. It's just not worth it. I'm liking these clouds right now, though. They look pretty dang good. So our basic 3-to-1 math, if we're at 35,000, I want to be at 10. Oh, you know what? I made an error. So the goal, whenever you're calculating your descent, you got to have a goal altitude. My goal is 10,000 feet, 30 miles from the airport. So if I'm at 35,000 feet minus 10,000 feet, that's 25. Multiply it by 3 for a 3-degree path, that's 75. So 75 miles away from my goal is where I need to start down. But I want to add 30, right? So 75 plus 30 is 105. So 105 miles away is when we need to start down. Ooh, that's kind of cool. So if we're 90 miles from the airport at the VOR, that means 15 miles from the VOR is when we should start down. That's at a 3-degree path. I mean, you could really dive and drive this thing too, so I'm not too worried about it. X enviro with snow falling, yeah. It crushes your 2080. It crushes a lot. I think I tried snow one time with my 1070, and I started smoking from the PC, from my desktop. Can't wait for X-Plane 12. Me too. I'm hedging my bets on X-Plane 12. I try not to get too hyped for it, but I'm hoping. From what I've seen, it looks really good. So we'll see. What are my thoughts on the 321 XLR? Heck of an airplane, man. You're really stretching the limits. Typical modern day aviation. Stretch the limits of a nice aircraft, and instead of building a new one, just keep stretching the limits. Went from the 19 to the 20 to the 21. Now we're doing a 21 XLR. It can do it, but you're really starting to stretch it now. Callum, I have not. Do I find myself having to take a lot of PTO from work? Not really, Andre. You mean like to stream? I stream on my days off most of the time. You know, I don't take time off just to make a stream, unless of course I really want to. Then maybe I'll drop something or whatnot. But just depends. Yeah, with X-Plane 12 on the way, hard to pull the trigger on X Enviro. I wouldn't. That's my opinion. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't buy X Enviro unless you knew for certain you had a NASA PC and you got the funds to do it, then maybe. But as of right now, you really got to be... I would wait. All right, we're 37 miles out. Looks like we just picked up VOR2. Oh, yes we did. VOR2 is set up. I'm going to put you back in the VOR1. So we are 36 miles. Beautiful. So at 15 miles, we'll start down, and we'll start prepping for the approach. Everybody in the line there. Nice. Man, I'm glad our civa worked. I was unsure what was going to happen with that waypoint. Ooh, look at this shot. I don't know where we should sit. Should we sit on the wing? Watch the sun go down? I don't know. I feel like we should look at the clouds like this. Maybe from this angle? No, I like these broken clouds better. Ricardo's going to town on the equivalent airspeed. 260 knots, air becomes compressible, and so once you compensate for this, you obtain your equivalent airspeed. Yes. That's why if you have TAS, true airspeed, oh no, I'm sorry, calibrated airspeed is what you want because it's already corrected for compressibility. Eesh. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sam. That's like, I haven't looked at that stuff in a while. But I believe, yeah, calibrated is corrected. That's why, the airspeed indicators that we look at in our airplane, like in the airbus, it's not it is indicated airspeed, but it's calibrated. It's actually calibrated. Not sure I'd want to be on a narrow body that long with an XLR, John. I agree. You start having those 8-9 hour flights on a narrow body, unless it all depends on the cabin. All depends on the cabin configuration, if they're spaced out enough. But I mean, that 318, British Airways runs a 318 from, or they used to anyway, London City to Kennedy, or Kennedy to London City. But it was configured for only, I don't know how many seats, pretty, like 60 or something, maybe less. The plan is that the X-Plane 11 planes are supposed to transfer to X-Plane 12. Now, will they have upgrade fees? Who knows? But as of what I've heard, they are supposed to be compatible. But again, that depends on the developer too, I would imagine. You know, they may offer an X-Plane 12 update. I don't know. That would kind of suck. If they did that, if all the planes, you had to buy all the planes again, I don't think it would be very good. I think a lot of people would be upset. 4 of us coming up on Hanoi, pretty close. Made it to figure out parallel runways. We'll check it out here in a second. We're just about to start down. Oh, that's a cool shot. A little bit of island down there. I am using exclamation point sky for the cloud add-ons. This is your daily reminder. 7.2 and 7.3 cabin width is the same as the 707. And is the same as the 777 engine diameter. Corrected for compressibility takes you from oh, there we go. Okay, so that would take you from compressibility. That would take you from calibrated to equivalent. Okay. Tolis already said they will charge a small fee for the 19 and 21. All right. There you go. I think it oh, 32 seats, Callum. Nice. 32 seats on a 318. Wow. I think it's really going to depend. Oh, time to start our planning. We're already past our top of descent point. I think it's really going to depend on just how good, in fact, X-Plane 12 is. I think that's going to have a big factor on it. All right, we're going to set 10,000 feet. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to go IIS hold, out cell, and I'm going to start walking it back. So now the airplane's going to pitch to maintain 8.5 Mach, which is pretty darn fast. We got to be careful. You can get in trouble doing this, but it's just what I'm comfortable doing. We're going to walk it back here. We'll start our descent. You can see out select is amber. Spooling them down. VSI is picking up. Down we go. Is there someone in front of us? Someone headed out to us. HVN. All right, let's start planning. Looks like everything is working as intended. I mean, flying the 7.2 is probably one of the more satisfying airplanes that you'll fly in X-Plane. If you do a full flight with either the civa or with just old school, successfully, without breaking anything, there's just a different level of satisfaction. No doubt about it. All right, let me refresh my active sky. Right now, VVNB 100 at 2, or I'm sorry, 110 at 2 knots, 5,000 missed, 17 and 1021. So I'm going to set 1021 on the standby here, so I have it ready, which is going to be 3015 when we get down there. And 17C, so pretty nice. Might be some mist. We'll see how that calculates. So 110 at 2. I guess we'll land on 1. You know what? There is an NDB. I said we were going to do an NDB approach. We're going to do an NDB approach. We got to do it. We got to do it. We got to do an NDB approach. Not many airports still have these. NDB 11 left is what we're going to do. Let's see if we got the minimum 1,600 meters visibility. 2,800 for Cat D, and C is 2,000 meters. We should have that. 530. All right, so the DA is 530, which is 490 above the ground. So I'm going to set 490 on the rad out. We're going to do an NDB approach. That's awesome. Okay, so Noi back. What the hell? So I have to fly directly to a procedure turn and land? Okay. Interesting. You literally fly to the NDB, do a procedure turn and land. All right. What the hell? 320 is the NDB we want to tune up. Let's tune that up. 320. I thought there was a circle. Hold on, let me check. Is there a circle to the other runway? NDB 29. Wait. Hold on. No, that one's boring. It's straight in. What is this? NDB 11 left. NDB 29 right. Pull that power back a little bit more. 29 right NDB is more fun because you basically fly to the NDB, fly to this NDB. Well, that one's just confusing. Initial approach fix, procedure turn to intercept that. No, that's screw that. That's too much work for single pilot. This one's pretty simple. Fly to the NDB. All right, NDB 1 is tuned up. We don't have it yet. Missed approach point is going to be on NDB 2, which is 230. So let's go ahead and set up 230 on this NDB. 230 is set for the missed. Right here, 320 Noi by for the primary. And I'll also put 230 here just in case. All right. So those are the NDBs. Basically, we're going to fly to the NDB once we're within range. We got to cross over the NDB at 5,000 feet. We got to pick up this rate of descent. We're way high. We got caught. We're way high. Spoy break. That's right, we're in a 727. Look at this. All right, we're going to fly over the NDB, do a procedure turn. How do I do this? Okay, so we're going to fly to the NDB. Then we got to make a procedure turn. Looks like a parallel entry. Back around, which are opposite. And then a turn. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. 320 is set. 5,000 for cross. So I'm just gonna go ahead and set 5 now. We're doing 5,000 feet a minute. We should probably go ahead and turn the seatbelt sign on. That is set. Let's come over here and check our pressurization panel. Landing elevation, I have 100 feet. It's 40 feet, so I have to change that a little bit. Landing elevation 40 is set. Low fuel pressure lights are normal. Landing speeds, we're going to do flaps 30, set bugs 121 VREF. So our VAP is going to be 126. So right about there. That is good. We're at 24, descending. Checklist time. Descent seatbelts with anti-ice is closed. Landing lights will come on. Altimeters will set. Radio set. Flight instruments, hydraulic pressure, quantity, credit, cooling doors set. You know what? I left the cooling doors open the whole flight. I'm pretty sure that's a no-no. They should have been closed. Cabin temps are good. We are, so we're a little bit behind. We're definitely behind profile. We're at 19.3, 4,000 feet a minute though. Good night. 30 miles out. So we're about 8,000 feet high. So I want it to be 30 miles at 10,000. 5 miles to go. We're at 18,000. We're a little bit high. Volume set up nice and juicy. Hopefully that's good for you guys there. I'll walk back to power a little bit more. That's the idle warning, horn cut out. Is there a 250 restriction in Vietnam below 10,000? I was really hoping there'd be some clouds here so we don't have to look at the default ground textures. But it's Vietnam, it's mostly all green anyway, right? So it's not too far off. I think that's actually the airport out there. Any chance of we going to Paro? Yes, Clay. We will be going to Paro. That'll be the pretty much the conclusion. We're going to work our way. We're going to go to Bangkok, then we're going to work our way up to Paro, and then I think from Paro we're going to cut back to Kai Tak, fuel up, load up. We might have to do two Concorde streams, or we might have to take a 7-4 out of Kai Tak and go to Tokyo or somewhere up a little bit further, and then take a Concorde back to the US of A to conclude the tour. But I'd say we're about halfway done with the tour right now. All right, there's 10,000. I'm gonna walk my speed bug back to 250, so now the airplane's gonna pitch up. Let's go ahead and light it up. And we're landing on 11 left, right? Hanoi traffic, Vietnam 357. We're at a 10,000 feet, about 20 miles to the northeast of the field. We're setting up for the NDB, 11 left, Hanoi. All right, so we're good now. We're back on it. Stow the boards, 250 knots on the speed. Out of 8,000, lights are on, volume's up, fly by. Oh yeah. Nice little sunset. Sim Captain, I just saw your comment. So do you think the 7.2 and 7.3 is worth it? Absolutely. Absolutely think it's worth it, man. If you like old school airplanes, I do indeed. All right, we got our NDBs active. So we can see we're tracking directly to the NDB. So in that case, I'm going to sync my heading bug. We're going to go back to traditional nav. And I need to go, oops, should have done that first. Heading select. Heading select. Heading bug here for the flight director. We're still in out cell. The final approach course is 108, so this really does nothing. Actually, you know what? I'm going to back it up. Why don't we do that? Why don't we use a backup ILS? Let's do that. So we have a backup. VOR1. What are we doing? 11 left, right? Yeah, 11 left. So let's do the ILS Zulu 11 left as a backup, which is 16-1.
Alright, traffic Zulu 611 is at 9,000 feet. It's setting up for ILS 11 left approach. Hanoi.
So I need to set 16-1 here. Transfer you over. All right, so now we've got a couple of things going for us. This will be a practice approach, so I'm going to kind of I'm not going to cheat. I won't be looking outside too much. We'll come down here. But what we have to do, this is the plan. We're in heading mode. This is just our runway course as a backup. We are flying directly to the Noi Bay NDB, which is on ADF-1. So I'm using this instrument for navigation. Right now, I'm on about the 280 bearing to the station. After I hit Noi Bay, I'm going to track outbound on the parallel bearing to set up for a parallel entry here. Actually, we could do a direct entry. Once we cross the NDB, we're going to fly 30 left, so 288, 258. So we're not doing a parallel, we're going to do a teardrop. We're going to fly 255 bearing outbound, And then we're going to turn inbound for the 108. And then once we're established, we can descend at 2,000. So I'm going to leave 250 on the speed there. Actually, for the approach, why don't we walk it back to like at least 200? Let's bring it back. 200 on the speed. This is good practice here. Good NDB practice. Alright, so we're tracking 2. Now, I really don't need this one. I'm going to turn NDB 2 off right now. So I need to track a little bit more to the right. So let's correct the right. I want this needle straight ahead. So I'm flying the airplane in heading mode, tracking my NDB. Right about there is good. We can go flaps 5 below 160. We can do flaps 2 190. So let's actually set 180 and come to flaps 2. That'll help with our turn radius now. Alright, so we're at 5,000. We're going to cross over Hanoi Bay. We're going to make a slight left turn to 258. And we'll track outbound for 1 minute. Then we'll turn inbound. We can descend. Start turn at 2 minutes. Okay, so 2 minutes. We can descend once we pass the outer marker and we're on the protected side. I say outer marker, but essentially it's a beacon. Maybe it is an outer marker. Flaps 2, flaps 5. Set. We're at 5,000. Bring the power in. So you can see the NDB is a lot like a VUR. When you get close, it starts to get a little bit wonky. Don't chase it. I just know I'm going to be going to heading 258 once we flip over the top. Get my power in here.
Alright, traffic 611.
Let's go outsell.
Descending 2,000, entering down for Islas on the left approach, Hanoi.
Hanoi traffic, Vietnam 357. Just about to enter the procedure turn over the outer marker for a 1-1 left at 5,000. Hanoi. We will stay in the hold until he is pretty much inbound, I think. Where's he at? So he's setting up for the ILS. So yeah. Oh, you know what? These are outer markers. That's why outer marker. It is an outer marker beacon. A little bit more power. A little bit more to the left. All right. Looking at my NDB needle. NDB needle is moving. There's our marker beacon. So we're over the top. So let's come to heading 258. And we got to go 2 minutes. All right. So we're established outbound. Hanoi traffic, Vietnam 357, established outbound, procedure turn over the outer marker, 5,000. We'll maintain 5,000 until the traffic below us is cleared in on the one left. So we're going to maintain 5. We're actually going to come all the way around. We'll do a descend on our second turn. So basically we're tracking outbound for 2 minutes. Watch the speed, bring the power back. And then we got to make a turn inbound to track the 108 bearing 2. So now we're not really too worried about the pointer because we're not tracking anything. We're just on the heading. Try not to crunch my ice. Sorry. Nice spell. I just oversped the flaps like crazy. Nice job, fake pilot. So there's 1 minute. I'm not going to go a full 2 minutes because I'm doing 200 knots here. That's going to mess up some things. I need a flight engineer to set the power for me. We'll wait till about 45. We'll wait till it's straight up before we make a turn. So what we got to do now is we're going to make a right turn because you see this turn is indicated by right turns. We're doing essentially a direct entry, so we got to make a right turn to intercept the 1082, which would be about 090 intercept, which we're going to start the turn. That's close enough. So now right turn now, swing it around. A little bit of power in the turn. A little bit more power. This is good practice because if you guys watch the channel, we actually had to do this for real in Cancun in a hurricane. All right, so now as I'm making my turn to intercept the inbound bearing 2, the bearing 2 is 108. So I need to put the skinny needle on 108, and I basically need to drag it to 108 by setting up an intercept. We're going to start with a about 060. Should be enough to drag it in. So pay attention to this needle right here. See how it's slowly moving? It needs to get to 108. So there's 100, there's 110, so right about there will be our inbound bearing 2. So there's 100. As soon as it gets to 108, which is really close, you would essentially set your heading to 108, but you have to account for wind, which I need to look for as well. So it's dragging, Speed is good. Real quick, what's my wind of civa? Wind is 163 at 7, so not bad at all, really. So we're going to have a little bit of wind from the right. All right, so now it's pretty much 105 bearing 2. So we're pretty much on it. Just like that. With a little bit of wind from the right, we're going to have to put our heading past 108, or else we're just going to get pushed off of it. So we're pretty much inbound bearing 2.
11 miles out, turning final for 11 left Zulu approach. Hanoi.
So this is close enough. We're going to let the wind push us. We're at a 105 bearing 2. So we are, and you can tell by the lope too, we're just a little bit off. But that's an NDB. It's not supposed to be very accurate. All right, so we're going to make this turn. Once we cross the NDB, we're going to descend to 1970. So I'm going to set up 2,000 feet here. I'm going to slow down so I'm not overspeeding everything. You can see we're actually we're still a little bit off. Come to the left now. We got to make opposite corrections. Oh, we're getting real close. I think it's starting to run away from me here, which means we're getting close to the NDB. It should flip again. So see, now I'm at 090 bearing 2. That means we're a little off, but that's okay. It's an NDB. I'm not going to chase it at this point because it looks like, yep, there's the beacon. So now right turn, and our outbound heading is 288. So now we're in the turn to 288. I don't know why I pressed that. It doesn't do anything. 288 is the outbound. Now we're going to have just a little bit of a correction. I'd say maybe 5 degrees. And look, you could really cheat here by going desired track. So I'm actually going to just set my track to 288. Now I don't even have to worry about heading corrections. Hanoi traffic at Vietnam 357. We are in the hold over the outer marker at a 5,000, setting 2,000, setting up for the ILS 11 left. This is our final turn on the hold. We'll be inbound in 2 minutes.
Hanoi traffic at 2611, 4 miles out, short final for 11 left. Hanoi.
All right, 2,000 is set. I'm going to go IAS hold, out sell. Down we go. Where's my ground track? There we go. 275. Need to come a little bit more to the right. Did anybody start the clock? So now outbound on an NDB, you're tracking nothing but your heading. But this is the benefit of civa. As long as this says 288, I know I'm parallel to my inbound course. Because if you're not parallel to your inbound course, you can get in trouble. We need to descend, so I'm going to go ahead and bring that power back. Outsell is armed for 2,000. We'll give it about another minute. Nothing like oh, well, that's beautiful right there. Screenshot. Look at the sun setting over the hills. This is really cool, actually. All right, we're basically at a 288 bearing. I have no idea what the time is. We'll continue outbound for a little bit longer. And we can also cheat on our track inbound, too. We know our 108 inbound. We just set this to 108 with a little bit of crosswind from the right. We're going to be spot on 2,000, 4,000, out of 4,000 for 2,000. Let's take a look at the traffic. Anybody else coming in? Yeah, you can see here's that's what an NDB hold looks like. It's not pretty. Hanoi traffic, Vietnam 357. Out of 3,800 feet, 10-mile final for 1-1 left. We're turning inbound Hanoi. All right. That seems like close enough to 2 minutes. Here we go. Same thing, out of the turn, we want to drag the NDB needle to 108 inbound. So here's my ground track. We're at 200. So it seems to be about 7 degrees off with the crosswind. About a 7-degree crosswind from the right, so at 108, 7 would be 115 on the heading would be ideal. So keep spinning around, got lazy there, you don't want to overshoot. You never want to overshoot your course on the non-protected side. That's a no-no. So I got 120 set, which is going to be a little bit excessive, I think. Right about there. 110. How's our NDB looking? There's 100. We're right on it. We are 108. So let's look outside. There we go. There's the runways. Hanoi traffic. Vietnam 357. We're on a 10-mile final now. 11 left Hanoi. 160. Flaps 15. Here it comes. And there we go. Basically following this inbound. Our minimum is 530, but we're just going to hand fly it. I don't know why. There we go. What's up with my views? It's like it resaved my view. What's up with that? Okay, speed, power. Autopilot off. I have control. Got real slow there. That's right, flight director's off. We did our NDB approach. We got the runway in sight. We can descend down to our minimums. Try not to climb on final, but I think this approach is also at a little bit of an angle. Yeah, it's not perfectly aligned at all. Standard NDB. All right, we're back on it now. 1-1 left, gear down. Get ourselves centered with the runway. We're landing on the left side. Actually, you know what? For a shorter taxi, let's make it the right side, just for a shorter taxi. And Hanoi traffic, Vietnam 357. We got the airport site now, 5-mile final. We're gonna just set up for 1-1 right, visual approach, Hanoi. All right, so we're set up for 1-1 right. That way we don't have to cross runways or anything. 2 whites, 2 reds out there. 131 was our approach speed. We're walking it back. We're doing a flaps 30 landing. Let's go flaps 20. So now our ILS is gonna be a little bit off, but that's fine. We're just looking outside. 2 whites, 2 reds. Flaps 30, landing checklist. Spoilers armed. Auto brakes are off. Gear down 3 green. Flaps set 30. Clear to land. Down to land. Enjoy the landing, y'all. Speed. Power. Man, look at this airplane. It will punish you. Just trying to read a checklist, and I'm already off speed and low. There's our marker. 4 reds. Not good. Correcting. There's our 1 white. There we go. At least we know where we are in the realm of everything now. Right on VREF. Need a little bit more speed. About 130.
Sierra Foxtrot, final one break.
There we go. 2 whites, 2 reds, on speed, gear down, clear to land. I know, Christian. I do. I wouldn't say forget, but I omit my scan to the speed.
500. Minimums.
Insight landing. Now we're high. We're all over the place. Unstable approach tends to lead to a not smooth landing. I would say this is relatively unstable,
300.
so hopefully we don't crunch it.
200.
Seems like we're really high, but I don't know about those pappies there, sir.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Float it out, baby. Spoilers. Well, I like the other landing rate better. That one says 60. This one 190. That felt like a 197. That really did feel like a 197. "33 feet." We're just a hair. See that? Those pappies were throwing me off. It said we were all white, but we crossed at 33 feet. So I don't believe that one bit. But 1 foot from center line, I'll take that. Stow the buckets. We'll take the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Vietnam. Don't mind me as I take out your taxiway sign. 5,000 feet remaining. This is a little free scenery I have. I got it off the org. There's someone on final. Wow, it got hazy. Hanoi traffic, Vietnam 357, clear of 11 right. Taxi ramp, Hanoi.
Effect Boeing 80 Foxtrot, final for 11, left short final.
Alright, let's clean it up. Yeah, those pappies are definitely calibrated for something else. I don't know where to park. This looks more fun over here. We're going over here. Look at that guy coming in the fog. He's down. Nice. Ooh, let's take this one right here. Let's park next to Vietnam Airlines. Blue Bear, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Gonna cheat in here. Oh, I ran out of juice. Really? Brake set. 3, 2, coming down. I'm not going to shut them all down because we got to look at the replay. Still got the wing light on. Somebody just spawned in over here. Nice. Look at our track. So there you go. That's basically what an NDB looks like. Not very accurate. Our second one is much better though. You see, so we hit here, we did kind of the wonky thing, but then we knew what our wind correction was, so we came outbound, we tracked outbound, just ever so slightly overshot onto the non-protected side, but we were still within tolerances, so definitely good. He's coming in here. What I'll do here, let's just go ground. Let's go GPU, and then we can put him on bus and spool down number 2. Cebu Pacific just slewed across our nose. Yeah, SFO, you want to check out What's that guy's scenery? You guys know in chat. Alright, everybody's here. I'm not sure where you're going. I'm going way out. Listen to that spool down, though. Robert, no problem, man. Take it easy. Tomorrow, my friend. Stick around. I will be posting some stuff in the Discord as well, so I'm going to toggle replay mode here, put you guys in replay, but if you're in the Discord or if you want to know what's happening tomorrow, make sure you get in the Discord. There'll be more coming very soon. But tomorrow is going to be a fun evening. All right, let's take a look at a few of these replays. And I got to pee, so we're going to get out of here. But the sounds, oh yeah, here she comes. Master Warning says leave number 3 running because essential power. Awesome. All right. I will keep that in mind for the next one. Oh, that was pretty good. Oh, it's a little bit of an upslope right there. Maybe that's why the other plugin said it was super hard. There's a little bit of a bump right there on the runway, it looks like. Anyway. Sam, yeah, I don't know what that was all about. No. All right. Got some sail music playing. I'll listen to some beautiful JT8Ds. Look at the spoilers working there. Get her down. Beautiful touchdown. I'll take that. I love this airplane. All right, guys. Tomorrow should be a lot of fun. Stick around. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight on this stream. Welcome to Vietnam. We're headed to Bangkok next, I believe, is our next destination on the Asia Pacific tour. Until then, I guess I should say until tomorrow, stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. Enjoy the JT8D flyby. Oh. See ya.